A very good evening and welcome to the weekend edition of Primetime News on TV1. I'm Charlene Benedict. Let's first start off with a look at your top stories tonight.
More suspicious transactions carried out by the company that owns Lattanavi power plant revealed. Kabir Hashim refutes allegations that he put forward a cabinet paper for private ventures in Knuckles. Minister Rajitha speaks of a stupid decision made by the government of good governance. Mahinda Rajapaksa's absence at a religious event causes chaos.
The first story tonight, Minister Rajasena Ratna speaking in Kamburugambuwa Mathura today commented on an ignorant decision made by the government of good governance.
The event to declare open the new building constructed for the trainee nurses at the Kamburugambuwa New Hospital took place under the auspices of Minister of Health Dr. Rajitha Sen Ratna. The building was constructed at a cost of 75 million rupees. Some believe that when they purchased an Alto, it was given by the previous government. If these things were done by the previous government, there will be nothing left in these areas except for the cutouts. If they did what I have done, cutouts would be raised from Kankasantore to Donderhead. It will carry the images of Mahinda Rajapaksa and me. His image will be a large one, while mine will be small. When that is done, people see it as something that was done by Mahinda, and they say nothing was done by Maitripala. We say the government of good governance does not spend money on promotions. That is the first stupid decision we made. Recently, I told the Prime Minister, let's stop what we are doing and spend money on some advertisements. Then we can win the next election.
Kabir Hashim, the Minister of Highways and Road Development, commented on the issues surrounding the Knuckles mountain range after an event in Kegol today.
I am not aware of any cabinet paper being produced to even Parliament. A cabinet paper was produced to restructure the loss-making state plantations to proceed as public-private partnerships. It was for local investors to commence projects. We never sought approval for projects in the Knuckles Reserve, and we will never provide such approvals as well.
If approval is not to be given for local or international investors for projects in the reserve areas, one should first have a sound understanding about the boundaries of the reserve. If this is not done, there could be a high possibility that the land area within the forest reserve are being given to these investors for their projects. Therefore, Newsfirst contacted the Department of Wildlife Conservation for details on the boundary of the Knuckles Forest Reserve. We addressed a letter to the department on the 22nd of June and received a response on the 24th of July. In its response, the department says the respective units have failed to provide the required information and have sought more time to respond to our queries. At a time when the Department of Forest Conservation itself does not know the boundary that is under them, how logical is it for the minister to state that the area within the forest reserve will not be given for investors?
The Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna Balamandala for the Katana electorate was established today under the auspices of UPFA MPs Prasanna Ranatunga and Nama Rajapaksa.
The people who looted the central bank are taxing the people to cover up the losses. Ranil Wickremesinghe spoke big in Parliament on providing laptop computers to students. The tech laboratories of Mahinda and Ranil's laptops are missing. They started off with the Hambantota port. I recently witnessed them saying the Surya Baba grounds will be sold off. In Parliament, Nima Siripala says there are investors for Mattala. India denies. It seems the government of good governance is deciding for India as well. The people are being misled by them.
Now, dairy farmers lament they are facing serious issues as their products are not given a reasonable price.
These dairy farmers claim that they are yet to be paid for the dairy produce provided 2 months ago, and this had resulted in serious issues. As dairy farmers are not being paid on time, the situation has posed a serious impact on their livelihoods.
I have taken loans to engage in this industry. I have to make a payment of almost 100,000 rupees to the bank. I have not been able to make those payments because my dues have not been settled. we will be compelled to stop working in this industry.
The dairy farmers claim the government owes over 320 million rupees to farmers across the island. The Central Province Dairy Farmers Association convened a media briefing today to comment on the present situation.
Since November 2017, we will not be able to make payments on time. When we speak to the officers in Colombo, those at Milko do not answer our calls. If they do answer our calls, they say the payments will be done soon. The minister requested for 3 months. After Vijay Mooney took over the ministry, he is asking for another 3 months. All we ask is to be paid on time.
Newsfirst contacted the chairman of Milko, Zulfikar Kader, in this regard.
We have paid around 900 million rupees. The dues are as of 30th will be settled on Monday. The dues for the 15th will also be paid the following week. At this moment, we request the dairy farmers to be patient as only 1.5 months of the 3-month period has lapsed. We have been promised our payments because this matter was exposed by the media. We have to be paid for 2 months. They have promised to pay us because this was highlighted by the media.
Now, on a more lighter note, Sri Lankans as well as many other countries were gifted with the rare opportunity to witness a lunar eclipse last night. It was the longest of the 21st century.
A lunar eclipse occurs when the sun, the earth and the moon are perfectly aligned. The earth in the middle prevents sunlight from reaching the moon. What is significant of this celestial event to Sri Lankans is that it was experienced on Asala full moon Poi Day, which was marked yesterday. The celestial event began at 10:44 last night and the complete eclipse was witnessed at 1:52 this morning. The lunar eclipse came to an end at 4:58 early this morning. Sri Lankans will be able to experience another lunar eclipse only in 2025.
A group of locals surrounded a private land in Urupotha Bingiriya today and protested against the large-scale sand extraction taking place within the premises. They allege that the extraction is done with the use of heavy machinery.
The locals say sand extraction was taking place in violation of the permits, and this has posed a serious threat to the water sources in the area.
This is the largest coconut plantation in the village. When you destroy around 3 acres, the well loses water. We need to know who approved this.
කැඩිලා තිබිලා මේ දැන් යාන්තම් නහයෙන් අඬලා මේ පාරවල් හදාගත්තේ. දැන් ඔය මහ ලොරි යන්න ගියාම අපේ පාර කැඩිච්චාම අපි මේ කොහෙන්ද යන්නේ? මේ ගමේ පාලම් දෙකම කැඩෙන.
Officers from the Bingiriya police arrived at the location during the protest. Police seized 10 tipper trucks and 3 backhoe loaders which had violated the permit.
Speaking to media after attending a religious ceremony in Katagarupa area in Badulla, UPFA parliamentarian Kumara Velgama expressed the following views.
No, why would Ranil help Mahinda when there are giants like us? It's like King Dutugamunu had his men. Mahinda has us as his front line. I think that too should work out. It has to. I am the senior person. Moreover, I am the first SLFPer who came out for Mahinda. I was the one who decided to make Mahinda the opposition leader.
Yesterday on Primetime News, Newsfirst exposed a series of suspicious transactions carried out by the company that operates the Laktanavi power station in Kedavalapitiya. Now, more details have come to light regarding these matters.
The Verite research findings on which we based our reporting last night further goes on to state there is an issue in ascertaining the true owner of the Laktanavi Limited because of the complications surrounding the other entities and factions that claim ownership. At a time when no payment had been made to the CEB for the massive risk undertaken by the government of Sri Lanka, 39.75% had been paid as dividends to Lakdanavi Limited, which only owns 4.8% of the shares. When you compare the numbers, it is clear that when the government had placed a guarantee for a 22.7 billion rupee loan, other partners had conveniently made profits in billions. When the agreement was being prepared to purchase electricity from Lakdanavi Limited, the Ceylon Electricity Board had acted in a manner that raised serious doubts. In the agreement, articles that directly provide a benefit to the company in question had been agreed upon without any hesitation, while the articles that bring a profit to the CEB have been disregarded in a manner that raises a red flag. According to the report, Lakdanavi Limited had only infused a capital of 2%, while owning only 5% of the shares had made massive profits. However, it had acted in an immoral manner of disregarding the government of Sri Lanka, which took a massive risk and infused 98% of the capital. Issues surrounding LTL Holdings and its subsidiaries have been directed to the attention of the responsible authorities on previous occasions. The matters exposed in the CORP reports of the 8th Parliament are astounding as well. According to CORP, though the CEB held 63% of shares of LTL Holdings, the CEB had limited control of the operations of the company. It was in 2016 that CORP warned that when LTL and its subsidiaries enjoy massive dividends, the percentage given to the CEB could drop drastically. The dividends report as of 8th March 2016 is subject to the Auditor General's Department inquiry, and following the calculation being done, the CEB should have been paid 7,184 million rupees as dividends. However, the books in the CEB only record a figure of 6,952 million rupees as dividends. Can this be expected from a government that was elected to power to simply oppose corruption? What would be the response of individuals like Power and Energy Ministry Secretary Dr. Suren Bhattagoda, CEB Chairman B. Ganegala, who also served as head of LTL Holdings with Aruna Kumarasinghe and UD Jayawardena, MGMN Marikkar, Ravindra Pittigalage and others? The people are watching.
Now, an uneasy situation arose when former President Mahinda Rajapaksa, who was expected to attend a religious event at a temple in Ambilipitiya, failed to make an appearance.
The unveiling of the Buddha statue at the Hindaluk-Hidna Vanavasala Naga Vihara in Ambilipitiya was to take place today under the auspices of former President Mahinda Rajapaksa. However, moments before the event commenced, the chief incumbent announced to the crowd that former President Rajapaksa had taken ill and will not be attending, but Chamal Rajapaksa would be attending the event. At that moment, the organizers of the event and several others voiced their objection.
If this is the case, the unveiling must be done by the chairman. We will remove all the huts and leave the location.
2 youth climbed to the top of a tree as a mark of protest. At that moment, Chamal Rajapaksa arrived at the location of the event.
What are we to tell the people of the village? We organized this event with the money given by the poor people as a mark of the respect of Mahinda Rajapaksa. Use my vehicle to travel to Tangol. I will remain here. Last week, Mahinda visited Singapore for medication and returned. He visited some places recently and now he is in Tangol. How can he come if he is unable to?
In order to control the situation, Chamal Rajapaksa contacted Mahinda Rajapaksa over the phone and provided an opportunity to one of the youth to speak with the former president.
He says he cannot act as per our wishes. That is what he says. I must tell the people what he said.
The unveiling of the Buddha statue never took place and Chamal Rajapaksa also left the premises.
What is now happening with the central bank treasury bond scam? News First delves deep into this matter.
It's been long since the Presidential Commission of Inquiry into the bond issue concluded the recording of evidence and released its report. The question the people have in their minds now is solely based on the validity of the Commission and its proceedings. If the Commission of Inquiry was a toothless tiger where it cannot take action, was it just a waste of time and public money? If the government is not willing to take the required action to bring about laws that would enable strong proceedings against those found guilty, what is the point? Is this going to be one of the biggest failures in public trust in post-independence Sri Lanka? At present, the public are struggling to survive with the rising cost of living, lack of access to clean drinking water, education, and even a collapsing health system. But they are being asked to tighten their belts and are taxed even more. The bond scam is known as the largest financial fraud in Sri Lanka and possibly even in the region. But it is being left unresolved by those the people have trusted and voted for. The first bond scam was exposed, but the second bond issue in 2016 is yet to be investigated. There are questions surrounding the Commission report itself, with many questioning the right Austin Fernando, the former secretary to the President, had to send the report to the National Archives. There are also questions over the manner in which the Prime Minister, Ministers Kabir Hashim and Malik Samaravikrama, were questioned at the Commission. The people question why outspoken individuals like Dappula de Oliveira and Yasantha Kodagoda from the Attorney General's Department were sidelined during questioning. The people question why the Prime Minister, Kabir Hashim and Malik Samaravikrama were given special treatment. There is serious public doubt over these matters. On the 8th of January 2015, the people voted against corruption. Once the bond scam was exposed, the people sent a clear message during the local government polls. This too was against corruption. Everybody protecting the scandal, both in the present government and the opposition, should know that the people are watching and waiting. One of the key aspects of this issue is that the Bribery Commission is incapable of taking legal action against those responsible based on reports of the Presidential Commissions.
The Bribery Commission does not have the power to file cases based on the evidence recorded at the Presidential Commissions. In order to take legal action, the Bribery Commission will have to play the second innings and summon the people who had already provided evidence at the Presidential Commission and record evidence from them once again. What kind of a time-wasting act is this? To avoid this, an amendment will be formulated and tabled in Parliament. Accordingly, if this amendment gets approved, we will be able to take legal action based on the evidence recorded at the Presidential Commissions instead of recording it all once again at the Bribery Commission. However, in case we have to clarify certain facts, we will still have to record evidence again. But if this amendment gets the approval, the whole process will become more efficient.
The Abe Rajagama Udagamana model village constructed in the Pahalagama area of the central Nuwaragama Palata in Anuradhapura was vested with the public today. The event was graced by Deputy Leader of the United National Party, Minister Sajith Premadasa.
This is the 98th Udagamana model village constructed under the Udagamana initiative. The village comprises of 23 houses and was constructed at a cost of 30 million rupees. It is equipped with all required facilities including clean drinking water, electricity and access roads. The Gammuda program is not taking place according to the agendas of the rich. We have implemented this program with the ideas given to us by the poor people of the country living in the villages. I state that fact with pride. The former president took a decision highlighting the situation of the villages and held the presidential election. He was defeated. That is the result of taking such rash decisions without thinking about the grassroots. It was the late Ranasinghe Premadasa who taught us the lesson to nurture ourselves from the grassroots.
Now, recently, the vehicle of Deputy Minister of Wildlife, Palitha Tevara Peruma, had to be recalled to Colombo while the Deputy Minister was engaged in a visit at the Yala National Park. Minister Sarath Fonseca commented on the incident today.
I am stranded in the Yala National Park. The Deputy Minister had not sought expenses for fuel and accommodation. You have a duty to consult me on this matter as to whether the vehicle can be sent back. An order had been given to return the key before 4 in the evening. I was told that you were summoned yesterday and reprimanded. The secretary too had been reprimanded. A letter was requested and we handed over the letter. I am not sure if this was a vehicle brought for Fonseca. There are 2 security details assigned for my protection. There are 14 from the police and 4 from the STF. The STF do not travel in the police vehicle, so they have 2 vehicles. When the police vehicle is not functioning, they use a Defender SUV. The Deputy Minister on 2 occasions requested for that vehicle. I clearly said I cannot give it. I did not approve anything and he had taken the vehicle. At the time, the police said the brakes are not functioning in their vehicle. I told to use their other vehicle. Then they said the vehicle had been taken away. I told the Ministry Secretary to bring back the vehicle and return it to the police. I am the Minister.
Recently, Minister Akhila Viraj Karyawasam attempted to provide appointments in the Education Ministry to 1,014 individuals said to have been subject to political persecution. However, the President intervened and put a stop to these appointments. Today, Mahinda Jayasinghe, the General Secretary of the Ceylon Teacher Services Union, commented on the matter.
One person is from Valimada who had abused a small child and was rejected by all the schools in the area. He had made a transfer and arrived in Colombo. They called it political victimization. Another person is from Kalania and he had gone to the water board to obtain a water connection. He was rejected, but that too is viewed as political victimization. Some have been rejected on a number of times when they enter the field of principal. How can failing an examination be political persecution? Recently, we were successful in pulling down the pants of the egotistic Minister Akhila Viraj Karyawasam. Akhila Viraj is now in the nude.
Shamara Vikramanayake has become one of the most powerful women in the global banking industry after she was appointed the new chief executive of Macquarie Group, the Australian investment bank. Vikramanayake, aged 56, an ethnic Sri Lankan, was born in Britain before moving to Australia and rising up the ranks of Macquarie during a 30-year career.
The elevation of Vikramanayake, who has worked at Macquarie since 1987 and ran its $495 billion asset management arm for more than a decade, marks a new phase for a company known for its record of beating profit expectations. Vikramanayake's unit delivers about a third of its profit, according to Macquarie. The appointment of a female chief executive at a global investment bank is rare, with the industry dominated by male bosses in Britain, the US and elsewhere. According to the company financial reports, she earned a total $16.7 million. Fairfax Media reported last year that the 56-year-old had never sold a Macquarie share in her 30 years with the company. Vikramanayake takes role at the start of what is expected to be a tough phase for financial services companies in Australia.
Now in some news from the Sri Lankan entertainment industry, a special screening of the Sri Lankan hit movie Dharma Yuddha took place at the Sarasavi Film Festival held at the Regal Cinema in Colombo. Dharma Yuddha was produced by M Entertainment of the Capital Maharaja Organisation Limited.
The movie, directed by Indian director Chaya Ravi, was screened in Sri Lanka and it renewed box office records in the country. Dharma Yuddha is a remake of the 2013 Indian Malayalam language drama thriller film Drishyam. That movie was directed by Indian film director Jeetu Joseph. Later, the movie was remade in the Kannada, Telugu and Hindi languages as well. The Tamil language remake named Papanasam saw the lead role played by Indian superstar actor Kamal Hassan. Papanasam, which was directed by Jeetu Joseph, was produced by Suresh Balaji. Indian film producer Suresh Balaji and Indian film director Jeetu Joseph were present for the screening of Dharma Yuddha this evening, which marked the closing of the Sarasavi Cinema Week. Fans who flocked to the Regal Cinema this evening were given the opportunity to witness the Dharma Yuddha movie with these icons in the cinema industry.
I'm so happy that the remake of Drishyam is a huge success in Sri Lanka. And I congratulate all the people, all the technicians and actors who worked behind this film. And as a writer and a director, for me, it's a proud moment also. So anyway, I'm so happy to be here. And thank you for inviting me and Suresh sir. And thank you very much.
In some news from the sporting arena tonight, it's cricket. The first of the 5-match ODI series between Sri Lanka and South Africa will be played in Dambulla tomorrow. Speaking at the pre-match press briefing today, Sri Lankan ODI captain Angelo Matthews commented on the team's preparations to face the Proteas.
Yes, our limited overs performance have been not so very good. The team also played pretty badly, but we've had so many captains over the past year or so, and we would like to play better cricket than what we have been doing in the limited overs, and we started off really well with the test series, so hopefully we can continue with that momentum in the ODIs. But South Africans are a different outfit. They've got so many experienced players in their lineup, so it's going to be tough, but most certainly we can, if we play good cricket, we can definitely beat them.
Matthews also spoke about players' discipline.
Yeah, it's disappointing. I mean, to lose out on a player, especially when the team is doing well. I think we will not tolerate, any of anyone being indisciplined. If they take that risk, then they will have to deal with the consequences. They can be the best player, but they will have to deal with the consequences, and we will not, give in to any of those indiscipline when it comes to team rules. We do care, what they do outside, because it affects the whole team and the image, and the players have to be very careful. And
I think one-day cricket in general is obviously not as much as Test cricket. The wickets generally are a little bit better, but you're right. Obviously, the Sri Lankan team will still have good spinners, and that won't go away. I think it's exciting, especially having quite a young team here. Guys playing in these conditions for their first time.
The Sri Lankan Golf Union had organized a special program to promote golf among school students.
The Junior Schools Golf Development Program took place today at the Diyatalawa Army Golf Club with the participation of 147 students. The program is organized by the Sri Lanka Golf Union with the aim of promoting the sport among the students from outstation schools and to select a number of students who are willing to take up the sport. The first phase took place in Trincomalee yesterday. Of the 147 students who took part today, 92 were selected. The event was graced by a group including SLGU Golf Development Consultant Anil Pereira. The third phase of this event will take place tomorrow in Hambantota.
That's a wrap of Primetime News tonight. I'm Charlene Benedict. Thank you for watching. God bless.